Alright, welcome back everybody to another game of chess on the road to 1400 ELO. If you enjoy the content, please like, share, and subscribe, and hope you stick around for the journey. Alright, we got a game going. We're playing as black. We cracked 1350. Let's see if we can keep our heads above water. And we're playing up against a 1434. They're playing e4. Again, common responses is e5. My primary response to e4 is Karo Cann, c6. So we're just going to go ahead and do that, especially against a 1400 rated opponent. Let's see if we can hold our own in this situation. So they're going for a bit of a bishop attack. It's called the Hillbilly attack in the Karo Cann. Putting some pressure over here. You know, if they wanted to do like Scholar's Mate attack type of thing. The most common move in this position is just to push the d pawn d5 attacking, and if they take, we take back. They either check or go back here. We'll go ahead and start developing this knight. The queen side, if they develop in this way, we typically will pin the knight, but they didn't do that. And so now I'm wondering if I should go ahead and develop my bishop. So I think I will, just to get the type of Karo Cann structure that we normally see in most cases. So we'll just see how all this goes. Something I'm also considering, I don't know, doing something like this. But, you know, the common ideas for the Karo Cann, you get your bishop out early, and then you close up the center with e6, creating a bit of a light squared pawn chain, making this the opponent's light squared bishop less effectual. And ideally we'll trade off this bishop too. This is similar to the French structures, which I don't play a French defense, so I don't really see a whole lot of that. But one of the things that happens is with this pawn structure, the light squared bishop gets trapped back here and doesn't do a whole lot. They might push over here to push away our bishop, but I'm kind of okay with that. I mean, you're just gonna push pawns. It might seem like you're getting some tempo on me, but I feel like you're really weakening the king side. And then hopefully I'll be able to pick off those pawns, but we'll see how all of that goes. Okay, so they're attempting to develop. We'll just keep doing the same. We'll bring this rook over here on the semi-open. We'll castle ourselves. We'll figure out a place to put the queen, and, you know, we'll just take it from there. We'll just take it from there. Have some soda. Make that a common occurrence. Okay. Interesting, but I wouldn't mind this trade, so I'm just going to let it happen. I'm going to go ahead and castle. This might encourage our opponent to take our bishop, which I'm looking for. I'll just take back with my knight. I'll get my rook over here. Yeah, I can live with all this. This is all fine. I can live with all this. Ideas for the future, I'm thinking of... Ooh, that's tempting. If I can get somehow, some way... one of the things I've seen in Karo Kann's is moving the bishop back, queen up, creating a battery on this piece, on that whole file. But I'm just gonna try to play solidly. I don't want to... They're pretty underdeveloped, so I have some time to make elaborate maneuvers, which I'm gonna go ahead and try to do, and see if they spot it. This knight doesn't have a whole lot of places to go. Neither does this bishop, although they could, like, I don't know, be kind of a nuisance. I'm feeling pretty good about this position just because we see positions like this often, and I'm threatening checkmate. I can see a world where they will block like so. They could also block like so. In which case, maybe I can still plot my knight in here. I wouldn't necessarily call it havoc. Yeah, okay. Okay. So what can we do? What should we do? What can we do? What should we do? These are always the questions I ask myself when playing this game. So I mean, something like this isn't that great because even if they were to take, it's not a checkmate anymore. They move back, and they kind of elude without deep calculation. They would elude my attacks. I'm thinking of even hopping in here. They could just kick me out immediately, which, you know, doesn't really get me a whole lot. I could go over here, get a tempo on the bishop. They could just move back, and you know, I really haven't accomplished a whole lot by getting into this square. To be honest, I could push, but I feel like I'm weakening my center way too much. Honestly, I'm kind of liking this because it links up my knights. I could hop in like here, do something like this, like really get my knights deep into the position, and hopefully, I don't know, pressure. I mean, they have this. I guess I could eventually take here to um, give me more of a stronghold, but I feel like that sack doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Maybe I'll play some defense. I'll put my more pawns on light squares to, again, really hammer home that trade that I allowed earlier, saying that it's fine, and not allowing this knight to come in here and be annoying. This bishop doesn't have a lot of good places to go. I mean, this bishop also doesn't have a lot of places to go. Going back into something though, if they were to take, you know, that's kind of interesting. That is kind of interesting, right? Is it? Is it interesting? Or am I overthinking? So yeah, I was thinking over here. I can somewhat block, but not a whole lot. And they would have to move over here. Oof, man, if I did this, doesn't feel right, doesn't look right. They couldn't take, but even if I took, what could I do? If I were to go here and they took me this way, then I took back, and threatening this a little bit, they move back, I plop in here. But again, then what is always the question. It's always the question, isn't it? I kind of like it though. I don't want to play this quite yet. I feel like I need to keep it in the back pocket for now. So I'm gonna go ahead, trade these knights. I'm deep into the position. They can't kick me out without giving up their bishop, which, you know, oops, what am I doing? I'm going this way. That's what I'm doing. Which, you know, is tough. Actually, if they so if they try to kick me out, then here, then the queen is actually attacking that, which is annoying. If they don't take me right off the bat, I'm gonna move my bishop over here. So that's something I can do, because that would be obviously very, very bad for them. For our opponent. But you know, there's still a lot of chess to play here, so I shouldn't get too ahead of myself. Evaluating the position, I feel at this point we're pretty equal. I got a more active rook, I'm gonna say, on my side. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I do think that I should, you know, yeah, not bad, not bad. If I do move here, then they have to react. Is there anything I can do over here? Oh, I can actually hit them then with the check. And then I should be able to interpose all the way. So let's do all that. Let's do all of that. Actually, I can't because they're gonna have to move. So at first I thought, oh wait, no, but they could take, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. And then I'll interpose here, and then maybe I'll move my rook up. We're just keeping it all together. You know, nothing to worry about. It's all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. But we're getting there. We're doing decent. I'm glad we were able to come up with a decent way to defend against this potentially being down in exchange. That was a huge oversight on my part. I always neglect to catch stuff like that. Let's see. You know, we moved up here. They moved their knight. We moved our knight forward and opened up again. Like it's always good to kind of remember the whole move order of things. The how you say, I mean, how you say the I don't know, the repercussions of your actions. Moving in some moves that wouldn't have been available to you or your opponent wouldn't exist. So, yeah, that wouldn't have mattered. But again, poor form, I think, is also the name of the game here. Just being on the same diagonal or row or column, whatever you want to call it, rank, file, lining things up like that makes life super hard for you. So I'm thinking of taking back with the rook, with potential ideas of doubling up. If I were to take with the queen, I mean, doesn't seem like the worst idea in the world. This bishop, I feel like, is still being blunted pretty well. You know, something like this, even something like this. Oh yeah, let's go for it. And you know, we mostly have pawns on our light squared bishop, on our light squares. So that's the whole idea of trading the light squared bishop in the Karo Cann. Is that the queen will fight for, you know, the dark squares, and the pawns will fight for the light squares. And the pawns versus the bishop are doing their job, holding it at bay, just keeping everything under lock and key, keeping the whole system the way that we want to see it. We still have this idea, but I don't really see a good way to deploy it. Something I see coming is this, which is kind of annoying. I'm contemplating d4. And if take, then take, and that's a fork, but you could easily defend. However, I don't know. Maybe after that, maybe we can get our rook into the game. They could also push, which again just doesn't leave a whole lot for their bishop to do. I feel like their king is getting weaker, so we have to keep up that pressure, I think. And you know, maybe we can get something like this eventually. So this isn't quite an outpost, but it's close. I would consider it close to an outpost. It's outpost adjacent if our opponent takes. And we have not a huge time advantage, it's just a minute. But most of the time we are downtime because we make just poor maneuvers after poor maneuver. Okay. So they decide to push. But I think we have a deeper outpost now. Deeper into enemy territory. Which I am all for. Also, this I think is an idea. Because they couldn't take, because they're under a pin. Trying to take advantage of this this outposted knight. Oh, they're actually, yeah, and I didn't even really realize that we're gaining a tempo, so we have that as an opportunity. Okay, interesting. I still think this whole thing exists. If, say they moved over here, then I could finally take with the pawn. If I were to move here, I could see them doing this. In which case, right, I can just take back, right? No, I can't, because this is happening. So maybe I'd have to fall back to keep that pin. I think that's it. They might move their rook actually into the game here, which is a little annoying. We could move back maybe if we have to at some point. But yeah, their bishop isn't doing a whole lot. Their rooks are about to become very active. This one's is doing stuff, but it's not. This one's gonna get in. This rook isn't doing a whole lot for me at the moment, so I need to figure something out. There. I feel like this is obviously way too long. It takes way too much time. I can't imagine them playing anything other than that. They could play this. If they play that, then it plays into this plan. Okay, that's kind of interesting. I'm trying to decide what I want to do. If I fall back and they move here, then I go here. Maybe that works. Let's do that. Let's keep some sort of semblance of pressure going that way. You know, maybe we'll move back here, but yeah, this got a pretty decent stronghold. I'm really proud of this outpost that we achieved here. It was purely by accident. You know, we could, now as an idea, man, maybe I should have moved here first. And then if I move here, hit him with a check. Not sure where they could go. They could go anywhere, obviously, honestly. Our time advantage is getting better, so hopefully we can just keep the pressure up. And our opponent is taking their time, their sweet time. Ain't nothing wrong with all that. Okay, so weaknesses. Not a whole lot, to be honest. I was thinking here, but this is protected by here. The bishop just goes somewhere else, and I mean, it's not like I can take this pawn. I feel like this would be absurd, but at the same time, I'm like, it's not bad, I guess. Especially with time slowly slipping away from me. What else can we do? I mean, we definitely got to get this rook into the game somehow. Question is, what's the best way to do that? Is it moving them to the C file? It doesn't seem great, to be honest. Is trying to move everybody over a good idea? Also doesn't seem the best. Moving my rook over now and, you know, plopping over here and, I don't know, not really achieving again a whole lot. I mean, I could maybe get some sort of weird perpetual, but why? Why? Pawn breaks. I don't know about all that either. Maybe the pawn break makes a little sense. If I had another knight, going over here to open up, sacrificing to open up the king, and then I could move here. That's kind of crazy. I'm actually now really kind of considering this, but no, because if I did end up going here and they ended up pushing, this isn't an idea. My rook still isn't doing a whole lot. My time advantage is disappearing. I have to make an idea. I have to make a choice. Choices are hard. I'm just gonna do it. I feel like I have no choice. Here. If they take here, then they'd have to take this way. Then here. So yeah, I'd be able to survive all that. I don't know. And then maybe, I don't know, here. Just getting on the king side. Again, I don't think this outpost is going anywhere. I have to believe in that outpost and bring help for the whole situation there. Okay, that's interesting. Interesting. And this was my idea, my plan. Here, then here, here. And yeah, we're keeping it together, and we'd be up in exchange. Our opponent moved a little quickly on that last one, which gave us an opportunity to move quickly as well, because I feel like they didn't produce an immediate threat. If anything, they might be trying to do, I don't know what they could be trying to do. Coax me into trying to take the bishop. I mean, I feel like I don't need to, so why would I? I'm thinking of stacking up over here. If that happens, maybe I'll. But again, it doesn't really get me a whole lot, you know. In terms of hanging or backwards pawns. This one's pretty weak, but it's so far away. This isn't in existence anymore, so maybe pushing the E pawn isn't as bad as it used to be. It's getting awfully congested though on the king side, so I have to look out for that. That is something I need to be wary of. Oh, they say go for the exchange. Interesting. I mean, I guess it's not a full-on exchange. Oh yeah, I guess not at all. Huh. Okay, I didn't realize. Touche, touche. Hmm. We can take a pawn back. Ah, yeah, I didn't see all that. Ooh, tactics. Good find from our opponent there. Good find. So we're down in exchange. We lost. Oh, not even exchange, really. It's two. It's, what? What is that? It's two. We can pick up another pawn here, maybe. And then maybe get some advantage going that way. Let's do that. Oof. Now I'm really worried for this rook. We could pick up another and another. And maybe, try to hold it down, and then we'll have passed pawns. Maybe we could, if we're lucky, we can trade off the heavy pieces. So yeah, it's two pawns for a piece, 2 pawns for a bishop, it looks like, because they have a bishop. We don't. But we have, what do we have? We have pawns. We have pawns, yes we do. We have pawns, how about you? I'm losing my mind. Man, and this rook is in a bit of no man's land. Moving here kind of keeps it together a little bit. And it's unfortunate. It is an unfortunate series of events. Man. If I go here, man. That is silly. Silly. I was so proud of that outpost that I felt like I didn't need to do anything about it. Never again. I'm gonna just keep it there forever. I definitely have to figure something out with this rook situation. Alright, rook situation. What is the rook situation? How do we go about doing this? What's going on? My cat was underneath me and got real spooked with a mere simple touch of my foot. There's something going on? You hunting something? Oh, yeah, I see a little bug down there. Alright, do your thing. Alright, let's get back. What are we doing about this situation? What can be done about this situation? Oh, what are we doing and what can be done? All these such tough questions. Tough. It's like I could try to trade. Trade off the queens. And if I was lucky, I could... Sorry, coughing. I get my rook into an actually active square. That'd be nice. Say I'm like, I don't know, I'm thinking here, here, here. Just attacking this, but why? Actually, okay, so yeah, like, and so like I couldn't even go here because there would be this piece here. I could try to maybe dislodge it that way. Let's actually start, maybe. Let's start with this. Man, I lost a lot of time. It's a tough game. Tough game. Tough crowd. And then I'll do something like this, and then maybe pick it up this way. Move over that way. You know? I'm gonna do this. If they did pick up... Man, it's just so tough. And now we're getting into, yeah, the time scramble here. I think they can take... Because if I were to take, it'd be checkmate. Maybe not, actually. I could block. I mean, take, and then I could... Maybe not. Maybe it's not checkmate. It would be quite devastating early on, but what can you do? What can you do? Pardon the heavy breathing. I am stressed. This pawn got a little weak, but I can't see a good way to get to it. You know, maybe eventually there could be some sort of tactic. Down a pawn. Now they're attacking here. Also not great. This is still my idea, though, I think. This is still my brilliant plan. This is what I was leading up to, for the most part. Honestly, I can see them moving over, maybe one. And then if I were to take, they could take either here or here. Doesn't really matter. If they are not careful, maybe I could get away with something, but our opponent has been playing pretty well so far. I don't see huge lapses in, oh, maybe there is something here. Huge lapses in planning or overall just whatever you want to call it, huge lapses in thoughts or anything. So maybe I'll move over here. Maybe I'm gonna move here. Yeah. I should really actually make an escape square for my king. I feel like if I don't, it's going to be a huge... Even now, I feel like I couldn't. Okay. I felt like maybe there was an opportunity there for our opponent. I don't think they saw it. I might have gotten lucky. Nope. Man. Ugh. And here they come with a huge tactic. And I think they've won the game with this series of events. Man, tough. Tough loss. But it's coming. I don't see, maybe... Man. That's tough. Maybe if I'm lucky I can get a draw out of this. Dang. But our opponent found some good moves there. Oh, I didn't even realize that I was getting forked. I'm just going to resign. Good game to our opponent. I don't think we need to really draw it out for an easy, obvious loss on our side. Good game to our opponent. How many moves is that? Up to 42. What was that? A Karo Hillbilly attack? We'll do the normal thing. We'll try to count it off at the beginning. So e4, c6, Karo bishop out to what is that? c4? Is that c4? Yeah, I think that's c4. We go d5. E takes on d5. C takes on d5, and I believe they did bishop back to b3, and we went knight to c6. It doesn't sound like a whole lot for the first 5 moves, to be honest. I'm pretty sure that's it, though. Let's see how it scored us. But our opponent played good there, especially towards the end. And, it looks like we had an advantage a little bit. But at a certain point, I'm not sure if this is... maybe this is the rook when we lose the rook. Had a little bit of an opportunity, but it disintegrated. Neither of us really played particularly well, according to the engine. It marked me as a 900. So there you go. Let's get into the analysis. So e4, c6, bishop out, d5, and yeah, c4. C takes on d5, back. Oh, I thought this was already... I don't know why I already counted up to 5, but I definitely would not have remembered A3. I definitely would not have remembered A3. This is something I normally do, so I could have remembered that. And let's get into it. Alright, it's kind of all standard fare. It's not theory, but decent. I don't think it scored me very well for the opening, but I mean, all that looked fine. So it's marking this as a miss. I had an advantage at this point. I can kind of see that. I feel like this whole queen battery only really works in certain time control scenarios. This is something I was thinking of. It was better. It's definitely better. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move. What did you say about this? There was a moment to punish. Black had an advantage, but now the game is close to equal, and so I had a chance to punish. Could have been some sort of sack. Some sort of sack this way. Over here, perhaps. Or even perhaps over here. After that, I'm not quite sure, so I need a hint. So it is bishop related. Okay, it is just back. So maybe it is still planning the whole battery idea. I mean, it's not a bad idea per se. Yeah. So I didn't need to... What about all this? What about all this? Had some ideas, yeah. Okay, so this was better. Better than it used to be. Alright. You overlooked an opportunity to eventually win a pawn. This it still this? Yeah, it's still that. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking of putting that knight in the center, but yeah, by the time I do it, it's way too late. I have to blow my nose. Give me one. Oh, I'm running out of battery on this thing. 11 minutes remaining, so I gotta go quickly. I'll blow my nose later. Oh, that's a blunder. That's interesting. That's a miss. What? So this is a miss. What? What? I mean, I honestly can't even imagine what it would be at the moment. Do I just move back? Is it? Oh yeah, maybe it's this. Yeah. I did think about this briefly, but didn't take advantage. This whole thing. I mean, it still looks like I'm still actually having an advantage, which is. And then I got the outpost, which I thought was tremendous. Moving back. Should I have just moved here? No, that's a blunder. Should I have just moved all the way back? It's better. And this is best. Fascinating. Alright. So yeah, still at this point, it's like not terrible, not terrible. This is getting bad. So yeah, this whole idea was so misguided. And then yeah, lost a rook in the process. Whole idea misguided. So it's counting that as a miss. I want to see just right off the bat, since I'm losing time. Okay, it did want me to try to open up the center here and try to peel away the defenses maybe. Strikes the center, trying to gain space. So it seems like from an ideation kind of standpoint, this one takes too much time. It puts my rooks in vulnerable positions. I should have just used my pawns as pawns R4 and just sacked them with the hopes that I could gain space advantage or something else. But yeah, by this point, it's not looking good. I had an opportunity here, but I missed it. Let's see what it wanted me to do again. I'm just gonna... so just doing that? Oh, I guess I could have had this. Man. So I had... Towards the end there, had an opportunity to potentially get a draw, and then just worked up this common tactic, I think, with bishops and queens, where desperado the whole bishop, and there's only so much you can do. Totally missed that I got forked again, and we resigned to our opponent. Good game to them. They played pretty well. I felt like the evaluation didn't give us a whole lot of credit, but to be honest, again, poor decision making, and again, like the coming up with this idea, the ideas, the whole rook lift scenario, not great. Relying a little bit too much on this bishop battery idea, and then losing tempo, and then I think there was that knight to the center idea that I missed. Or at least played it too late by the time it was coming about, but what can you do? Live and learn. Thanks for watching, if you made it this far, yeah, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.